In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can be the ideal version of you right now. I'm going to be sharing with you 2 things that could be holding you back from making that shift, as well as visually showing you what's going on so you can better understand and giving you some practical things that you can start to do to make that shift. Because you do not get in life what you want, but you always get a reflection of who you are being. And Neville Goddard said that if you want your life circumstances to change, the only way you can do it is to change your level of consciousness. So if you watch until the end of this video, you are going to understand how to make that shift in consciousness so that you can start experiencing those circumstances that you really are wanting and that you deserve to experience in this life. So let's get started. You've got to understand what's happening here. Your state of being, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, is your thoughts and your feelings. Now, this is primarily going to do with the beliefs you hold about yourself. That's going to send out an electrical component. The thoughts are going to be the electrical part, and the feelings are actually what's going to draw to you the experiences. Whatever is in your electromagnetic signature, that is what you're going to experience. So for you, if that electromagnetic signature is about lack, if it's about heartbreak, if it's about rejection, you're going to keep experiencing those over and over and over, and it's going to make it feel like that's all you are. This ideal version of you has that security with money. They have the resources. They have that connection with love. So they're having thoughts and feelings that are sending out that electrical signature, and then they're drawing back to them those things that align. And again, this is primarily having to do with your deep down belief systems, how you see yourself. So these are 2 different frequencies. These people are going to draw to them 2 very different experiences. You have to understand the changes you need to make in order to understand what inner shifts you'll need to do to shift over here. So the question now is, how do you let go of this signature to step into this signature? How can you upgrade your level of consciousness? Well, the first thing is to start realizing, thinking of this person and being this person in moment-to-moment situations. So let me give you that example. This is a major thing where most people are unable to start being that version of them right now because they're unconscious to this. And again, Neville Goddard talked about, in order to raise your level of consciousness, you have to raise your level of awareness. Just like taking a light into a dark place. The darkness doesn't have anything to do with bad or evil. It has to do with a lack of awareness, a lack of understanding. So what you don't know, you don't know. And when you know it, you can make a better choice. So say there's a life situation and somebody says something negative about you. Maybe it's about your appearance, or maybe somebody says about how you don't have a committed relationship. Now, this is where you have to understand that there's a gap. There's a moment from when something happens, an outside stimulus, a moment before a meaning is given. Now, this is a huge part about how you can start being that ideal version of you, to start minding this gap. And what does that mean? Okay, so say somebody says something, right? We're about to go into the holidays, and they say, oh, looks like you're still not with anybody, or are you ever going to do anything with your life? Okay, there's a moment right here before you give this meaning. The current version of you, it could have beliefs that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not capable, and you have no talent. So if that family or friend or stranger says something negative, and you give it the meaning of, I'm never going to be, no one believes in me, no one loves me, I'm worthless, and you start feeling shame or guilt about that, you're going to be in that moment this version of you that you no longer want to experience. The version of you that has heartbreak, the version of you there's a lot of lack, because you're giving that situation the meaning in this realm. This is the frequency, okay? Compared to this person says this stuff, and the ideal version of you having that confidence. The etymology of confidence is about being full of trust. You trusting yourself and you knowing yourself, and you're relating to your worth and your value through yourself, not through other people. So they say this comment, you have confidence in yourself, you trust yourself, you know your worth. You don't relate your worth through other people. So you have those beliefs. So when they say that thing, you don't think that it has anything to do with you. You understand that, oh, interesting, this person is saying these comments about me, and there's this gap. but I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not sure why they're saying these negative things. Maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're actually projecting their shit on me, and I'm going to have a boundary because I know myself. I know my worth. I know my value. And in that moment, you're being the ideal version of you. This is not about delusion. This is not about suppression. This is about genuinely knowing yourself and letting go of any beliefs that you hold from the past where you had to relate your value or relate your situation or your life through other people, specifically early on caregivers. You know yourself and you understand that what somebody else says doesn't make it true about you. You can observe, you can give the meaning that maybe that person's having a bad day and they're trying to take it out on me. You know what? Actually, I'm really happy with where I am right now. I'm learning more every day about what I really want based on my needs and based on my experience of how I want to live my life. So again, that situation happened. You gave a meaning. You were either this person, your ideal version of you, or you're that old. Who are you being in those moments? Every moment you have a chance to make a new choice when you realize the gap. So every time you choose to be this version of you and you choose to own it, you choose to have that trust in yourself, and you choose to tell the story of who you are, who you know yourself to be, this is the power of neuroplasticity. Recognizing this moment and making this new choice gives your brain the ability to actually reconfigure. And when it starts to reconfigure based on those choices as they add up, you're actually able to see a different world in front of you because you do not see with your eyes, you see with your mind. So every time you mind the gap, and you make a new choice, and you're using all your affirmations and visualizations to build this person up, this version of you, and you start to make that choice to be this person in the moment, your brain starts to shift, literally. Google the power of neuroplasticity. You'll actually start to see the world in a different lens, and opportunities, situations, people will reflect this version of you. But if you're thinking of this person in this moment with this negative meaning and interpretation of yourself and wanting to be this person, you're just thinking of it. You're not being in it. You cannot fake energy. You can, though, recognize this, not shame yourself, not guilt yourself. Oh, you know what? In that moment, I was actually being in this. No wonder I keep getting a reflection of this state of being, because unconsciously I keep making choices that align with this. Now, the second thing that I have seen and personally experienced where people are not able to be their ideal version of you, if you're in that current situation where you feel unworthy, or you feel like you don't have any value, there's a lot of shame or guilt, or you just don't feel good enough. These are the deep down beliefs, or Neville Goddard would call them assumptions. This is what you hold in your self-concept, so it gets manifest or expressed in your circumstances as rejection or maybe abandonment, a lot of lack, could be financial or emotional, and just a general unhappiness, some sort of situation like this. You're wanting to shift to your ideal version of you that could look like, you feel worthy, you feel deserving, you have the assumptions that you're able, you trust yourself, you know that you are your self-love, and that gets manifest, that gets experienced in your circumstances as secure love, abundance, joy, security. So this is the mistake I see people making. They're here and they no longer want to experience these situations, but they spend all their attention thinking about the outcome of their ideal version of them, that the secure love they'd have, the security, the joy, the consistency, the abundance. So the assumptions here that need to shift, the beliefs you hold about yourself, but the focus gets up here, and then you feel, oh gosh, how in the world would it even feel to have abundance? How would it feel to have secure love? Well, the big missing picture that you're having is that you do not go from this to this. You go from these assumptions, and you have to shift them to this. So the mistake that people are making is they're not shifting the beliefs or the assumptions. They're trying to shift and potentially even manifest these situations so they don't feel these ways. But there's a kind of a rejection or an overwhelm when you try to go from these assumptions and visualize this experience, because you miss You're ignoring the version of you, who you would be. You have to start shifting to the worthiness, to feeling deserving, to feeling able, to feeling love. You have a coffee cup, that capacity to receive, but you're trying to manifest a 5-gallon jug of water. Well, it's going to be overwhelming for the capacity of the coffee cup. You have to shift your capacity, and then these things will actually feel much more natural. But if you completely ignore the person that you'll need to be to experience these things, you're going to be basically trying to interact in two different worlds. The first thing you'll need to do is start to remove or let go that you're unworthy, that you're not enough, and shift in and open up that you are, that you're worthy. You've always been worthy. It's a misunderstanding of yourself. When you start letting that shit go, these situations going to be much more comfortable, but they'll be rejected by your cybernetic mechanism because there's a reason you believe these things, not because they're true, but because they felt safe. That is how you could be safe, stay safe. So if you then try to jump into a completely different experience, you'll literally reject it. You will self-sabotage. You will push it away. You will find people who can't give it to you because that's how you stay safe. So you've got to focus on who you need to be, step into that, and then you will actually be able to see a reflection of that person. If you want more of a breakdown on how to mind the gap, this next video right here is going to share exactly how to do that. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. If you like this video, click like. If you haven't done so already, join this community, and I will see you on the next one.